recording. Okay, we are live, I think.
Ooh.
Hello Sandro. How are you?
Hello, Mike. I'm fine, and you?
I'm really happy you joined us. I'm just gonna check that all is good. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Messy Desk live stream, concerts and conversations with many illustrious artists. Today is Sandro Rodrigues, and I had the pleasure of meeting Sandro because we study in the same place, in Maastricht, in the Netherlands.
This.
But Sandro is from Portugal. So, Sandro, have you shared the video?
What?
Have you shared the video?
No, I'm going to share it now.
Do it.
I'm about to share it.
And if everyone could let us know if the audio is okay. Tell me if one of us is too loud. I know in the past I've been too loud. I guess I'm like that. So just let us know if the audio is weird in the comments. And if you're enjoying the stream and want more people to hear it, please share it. Yeah, so I guess me and Sandra are both in the second year of our masters in Maastricht, but we have to do everything now online because of this COVID situation.
Yes.
So we're both stuck in the Netherlands, though. You didn't go back to Portugal.
No, I stayed in Maastricht also, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Utrecht, but still.
Ah.
We're both stuck in the Netherlands. We still have to do this online.
So, where can I...
It should be on my profile. But yeah, and Sandro, I'm just going to share with everybody, recently released a new CD of Telemann Fantasias, right? So do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and about this project?
Yes, let me just share this.
Okay.
I'm finishing.
And we're going to hear some of this music from Sandro today that he recorded for this album, which I'm very excited about showing. Yeah.
Wait, I have to share it with my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Sandro's going to play some Telemann today, as well as some recordings of Salvage and Ginestera.
Some old recordings.
Old recordings. We're all about old recordings here, you know? This is good. Yeah. And
Okay.
we'll see if we get to the end of our degrees or not.
We'll try to.
Yeah. Yeah. So could you just introduce yourself for the audience and the project as well?
Yes. So my name is Sandro Rodrigues. I'm a classical guitarist from Portugal. Yeah. Now, as Mike said, now I'm studying in Maastricht, and previously I was studying in Saragossa and in Portugal, also in my town. Recently, I recorded the CD with 12 Fantasias for viola da gamba, transcribed for guitar.
Oh, nice! You have it here. Wow.
Yes.
Fancy.
Yeah, and you can listen to it in almost all the streaming platforms. It's available on Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, Apple Music, everything.
Nice. And you made these transcriptions yourself in 1 year, right?
Not in 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Like the project took almost 3 years since it began.
Wow, okay.
Like 3 years ago, I had to do research. I wanted to do it on transcription, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And then a friend of mine showed me the score and told me about the recent discovery of the Fantasias. This is the score, the beautiful score that I stole from my friend 3 years ago. And yeah, then I started working on it for my research, researching a lot about how to transcribe, analyzing, blah blah blah. And in the end, it was shit.
Yeah.
When I finished the research, I didn't like it at all, like the final result I had. But I was going to come study with Carlo, and who better than him to teach me how to get a good result out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Carlo gave me a lot of tools to finish my transcriptions to get a much better result, and in the end, I ended up recording with Cobra Records because they showed a lot of interest in the project, and here we are.
Yeah, nice. And I mean, for those who don't know, Carlo Marchione, who we're both studying with, he's done a lot of transcribing over the years, so he's really a specialized person to work with for this, which is great. So he's got many Telemann transcriptions of his own also, but not of these viola da gamba sonatas, right?
No, they told me when I showed him, like, okay, I have this and I want to keep working on this. He told me, that was my idea in the beginning, like because he wanted to transcribe the violin fantasias, the viola da gamba fantasias, the keyboard, and the flute, and it's quite a big work. In the end, he did in the 90s. He did the violin fantasias, and he also released some of the flute fantasias.
Yeah, many of our colleagues play them also.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know if I kind of stole the work from him. I don't think so. Also, he helped me a lot. Part of this is also his.
Yeah, I mean, he gave you many ideas. I've done some Scarlatti transcriptions with him during my studies and stuff, and it's hard to tell at some point whose ideas are. It becomes a bit enmeshed. So, but let's
also, because when you present to him a good idea, he comes up with a better one. So it's like, sure, maestro, I will put this.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you like it.
Yeah, that's fair. So before we talk more about the project, you're going to play one of these fantasias for us, right? Which one is this?
Okay, it's the fourth fantasia.
Okay, and what's special about this one?
What's special about this one? Well, it's one of the fantasias I enjoy the most to play, so also it will be on the repertoire I'm playing for the presentation concerts in the future when we have concerts.
Yeah, when concerts come back.
When concerts come back.
But this is like a presentation concert.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, so the fourth viola da gamba sonata.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Let's listen.
Fantasia.
Sorry, Fantasia. Oh my gosh. Okay, Fantasia. The whole theme. Beautiful. Nice job.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
So I get more nervous here than almost than in concerts.
That's what everybody's saying, or that's what everybody who plays says. William Hill said, "Telemann is not my thing, but it sounds really nice on guitar. I like it." So
Thank you very much.
you made someone who doesn't enjoy Telemann enjoy Telemann.
Thank you. It's a nice compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, people are really enjoying. Gabriela says this transcription sounds really nice.
Thank you, Gabriele. Love you.
Of course. Awesome. That one's really cool. There's some tricky stuff in that second section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly the technically hard parts are more what you have to imitate in the viola da gamba that is not common in a guitaristic writing, you know.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you found difficult to achieve on the guitar that you wanted to get from the viola da gamba?
I'm mostly imitating the bow articulation.
Okay. Yeah, Carlo's
That's
big on
the
that.
major. Yes. And yes, he knows a lot from the violin and from his experience, like from having played so much music during his career.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the hard part, but I think in the end it
works, yeah.
quite successful. Yes.
What are the most effective ways you think to imitate the bow articulation?
Well, first of all, is not being afraid to do something non-guitaristic. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. We don't think about long legados, for example. I don't know. There was this situation. Like,
Yeah.
it's a melody, but I do it all with a legato, so you can understand much more
All the slurs, yeah.
The phrase.
Yeah, I'm doing the chacona, the Bach chacon with Carlo right now, and there's a lot of the same kind of thing where
No.
he's making me think a lot more about seeing the bow phrasing, the bow articulation, and trying to find something to do that's maybe not technically the easiest, but achieves the same sound. So, yeah.
And also like searching for a lightweight of playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I explain myself well. Like because there are a lot of things like fast passages which are done like with one bow. So make it like, of course we cannot make it exactly like a bowed instrument, but we can fake it, searching for that lightness in our fingers.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, cool. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your background and training as a guitarist and how you came to this project? Like, were you always interested in this kind of project, or was it something that you hadn't done before? You came up with the idea 3 years ago, or?
Well, the kind of project I haven't done it before. Like I never transcribed anything in such a big scale. Yeah, I always enjoyed a lot playing Baroque music. Ever since like 16 or 17, when my teacher started to show me what is Baroque music, how it can sound on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a really nice teacher for Baroque music, Pedro Mateo.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me a lot on Baroque articulation and on loyalty to the Baroque sound, and it made me enjoy it more and more and more. So yes, there wasn't a moment where I started, but I developed a taste on Baroque music, and in the end I decided to go with transcription
For this project, yeah.
Yes.
But you've played a lot of other kinds of repertoire, of course, throughout your studies. You've had a pretty broad education, right?
Yes.
In classical guitar, yeah. And you play also some early music instruments, right?
I play the Baroque guitar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but majorly with Baroque ensembles, not solo.
Solo. Okay. Yeah. But you're also active in performing Baroque music with an ensemble. Do you find that informs how you transcribe things?
Yes.
Okay.
It helps. It helped me a lot because I managed to know some instruments that are and learn some techniques from other instruments that were really important to achieve the result I wanted.
Yeah.
Also playing wise, not only transcribing.
Right. Yes. But I mean, half of it is then the recording. So this is kind of a complete project in the sense that you have the idea, you make the transcriptions, you record it, and then you put it on the stage. It's like every
Yes,
step.
that was my goal. Like
Yeah.
once I had the first result, I decided that I wanted to go on with it, and I wanted to make it big. So I managed to get a nice final result for the Fantasias, at least that's what I think. And I said, let's take it further.
Yeah.
And contacted this label. They accepted to record me. So,
Nice. Awesome. And I think I actually I did put the link to the Spotify in the description here. So if people want to listen to it, they can find the link in the description of the video. And I just want to remind everyone too that there's also a link there to support the stream if you want to support what I'm doing here, as well as the artists who come on. But going further, Sandro, I'm wondering if you can tell me how you define classical guitar. This is the gotcha question I have for every artist who comes on: is where is the border of the classical guitar, and how is it distinct from other kinds of guitar?
from other kinds of guitar, you mean?
Yeah, or other, yeah.
Electrical guitar, or
yeah, also as a genre, maybe just not just physically as an instrument, but also as a genre. How do you define classical guitar?
Well, first of all, we have a small small target audience, so we have to manage to live with it and to take the best out of it. In the general guitar and guitarist world, I think we're still pretty closed to new projects, also crossover projects. We just want to have our guitar, our little room to practice, and we're happy with this, no?
Well,
But,
some people are.
Some people are, yes, but I think we have to wish more.
Okay.
Wish more for it, and to make something for ourselves, and also for the guitar itself, for the classical guitar itself.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, interesting. But how would you explain classical guitar in the repertoire to someone who's hasn't been in contact with it before? I just find it kind of a difficult genre to, define in some ways. Because we steal repertoire like what you're doing, but we also have our own repertoire, but it's different than I don't know.
But you say how would I explain it to an audience who goes to listen to a concert, or to someone who never listened to classical guitar?
Someone who doesn't know what it is but knows about music in general. How do you describe classical guitar?
Okay, first of all, it's a very intimate instrument.
Yeah.
So it's you have to appreciate the intimacy and the littleness of it, the small sound. I don't know. I don't know. I know. For example, when I play for my friends who are not musicians, who listen to music but they are not musicians or classical musicians, they always focus on the things that I don't focus. So I don't know. That's also a beautiful way to look on on a guitarist and a guitar performance, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
They focus on, hey Sandro, why do you breathe so much? Why do you make those faces? And then some other people, I don't know. They just say, okay, they just focus on the beauty of each line, which is for me the first
priority.
Yeah, the first parameter to start listening to music, because if you don't know about musical theory or anything, what will you look for? look for the beauty in it.
Yeah, in the music. Yeah. Mercedes
Yeah,
says,
maybe it's not exactly the answer you were searching for.
"No, I'm open to any answer. That's the whole point of this." Mercedes says, "Bravo" from Merce and Carlo. Hello, Merce and Carlo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the help with the transcription, Sandro says.
Yes.
Cool. Well, Sandro, we are going to get
Yes.
right to the fun part here. We're going to play a little game, okay? You ready to play a game?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I want to play a game.
Here is the part of the show where normally we would play the repertoire guessing game, where I embarrass the guest by playing clips from guitar recordings and having them guess the piece, composer, and player, and we talk about the music. Unfortunately, YouTube and/or Naxos, the label where many of the recordings come from, automatically block my videos when I do this due to copyright claims. Even though I know that short clips of copyrighted content are allowed under fair use when they are being used for commentary and/or education. Due to this delightful roadblock from our benevolent YouTube overlords, we'll be skipping this section, but if you'd like, you can check out the full stream with the repertoire guessing game on Facebook through the link below in the description box. Now, back to our fascinating guest. It was a trap. You didn't guess your own teacher twice.
Yes.
Sorry, Pedro, if you're watching.
Wow.
Oh man. Okay, so in first category you got 6 out of 9. Second category you got 6.5 out of 9. So you did better in the intermediate than the beginner. And then the last category you got 3 out of 9.
And it's enough.
It's enough. Yeah, it's not bad. So in total you got over 50%. Nice job.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I passed my exam like I always did.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the same trends. Yeah,
like over 50%.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, good job. Okay, so you know repertoire like reasonably well. You're just not very good at recognizing your own teachers playing. That's all.
No, yeah. That's because they play very well.
Yes, of course. Yeah, sure. Okay. We're going to go now to some more music, since everyone's here for the music. So we're going to play a recording of yours of the Ginastera Sonata, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have anything you want to say about this recording or this piece? What you like about it, why you played it?
Well, it was one of the like confirmation pieces for me, like in my career. Yeah, because I remember I started playing it in a moment that I was really had a big lack of motivation with the guitar, and I wanted to go I want to go easy on it this year, and I chose this and also the fados. They were because you said you were going to play.
Yeah, we'll play the fados later too. Yeah.
And it was like two of the pieces that made me really start enjoying again playing. No, the Ginastera is it's really the character of the piece is really
intense. Yeah.
Intense, and I really like that kind of character. I also like the complete opposite of complete
serenity. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was quite a piece to start growing more and more.
Yeah, I really want to play it someday. I've always wanted to play it. I think almost every guitarist, not every single one, but almost every single one always wants to at some point. So it's kind of a rite of passage, to play the Ginastera. Yeah, cool. Nice. Okay, so let's listen to some Ginastera. This was recorded in Portugal.
This was recorded, the audio was recorded in Spain in the studio of a teacher of mine from Saragossa. And the video was recorded in Portugal, in my town.
Cool. Oh, in your town. Yeah, it's a really nice video. Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear some Ginastera now. Nice job, man. Good work. Sounds
you.
great. I love how you play that third movement.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, the whole piece has such a nice arc to it, the way you play it, but also that movement is a bit kind of like intoxicating, you know, the canto.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think a lot of players let that get in the way of the structure of that movement, and it made so
Yeah.
much sense the way you played it. It's just like it flows perfectly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Super. Nice. Awesome. So that must have taken a lot of practice, hey, to learn.
It took some,
Yeah, yeah.
but always people always think that this is like really hard piece. It has like its difficulties, but it works quite well with like easy movements.
Yeah,
As well as,
this is a piece I usually give to guitarists when they or to composers when they ask about writing for guitar. The few ones I've worked with, you know.
it's a good example.
Yeah. It it seems to make sense on the instrument. So about practice, how do you like to practice? How do you view practicing? Has your view of practicing changed over time as you've studied? What are your thoughts on it now?
Well, it surely changed because it's much more focused now when I practice.
Mm-hmm.
Some years ago, I would practice a lot more time, which technical skills at some point was better. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not the best example for practicing because I practice quite bad. Like I play a lot. I don't know which is good also, but you have to know how to separate the things and be a bit more methodic. No?
Yeah. The difference between playing and analyzing.
What?
The difference between playing and analyzing what you're doing, you know.
Yes. But what I try from the first moment when I practice is to memorize the most.
Okay.
Because I feel like I can only show my idea on the music when it's completely in my head and not if I have to be looking for what comes next, it means that I don't know what I'm doing. You know.
Okay.
And in technique, like I have like a daily technique routine, which is not very complex, but
keeps
I
the
don't know,
basics there.
Yes, it helps me to keep a bit fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see like when I don't do it for a long time, I start losing it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You notice it, yeah. Well, do you have any like tips for people about exercises, or it can be not a technical thing, but a musical thing, something you do when you are working on a phrase, or a specific part, how you memorize, or how you deal with dynamics, or you deal with color, or I don't know, anything. Do you have any tips for people?
Well, I memorize a lot like by heart.
Okay.
By heart, by singing.
By singing, okay.
Yes.
So how do you do that when you work on a passage?
Well, I need to learn it first. Of course, read it. It's like I don't use like a specific method. I read it and I try to divide it in small sections and try to memorize small sections.
But do you like sing different voices or no?
Well, not the, I always focus more on what I want to bring out.
Okay.
You know, not it's not that I'm doing. Oh, now I will do the first voice. Now I will do the bass. Now I'll do the. No, it's what I want to bring out the most is what I try to sing.
Okay, so you always sing the voice that's the most important for you.
Yes.
Well, there must have been a lot of that in the Telemann then.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any
There was.
particular like inner lines or places where there's like a voice that you had to bring out that's really like a good example? Anything you could demonstrate?
Well, mostly on the slow tempos, like, because I'm always like very cocky with the slow tempos. But there was this movement I remember on the second movement of the sixth Fantasia. I think it's.
I could pull it up on Spotify if you can't play it right now.
I think it's a Dolce. Well, I don't know if I remember.
I can also try to remember, but I can also find it on Spotify.
Yeah, but
Fantasia number 2?
Fantasia number 6.
Number 6, sorry.
The Dolce.
Let me see here. Dolce, yeah.
Yes.
This thing?
Yes.
Where is it in this Fantasia?
Well, it's the whole Fantasia. Like it's because the way I transcribe it, in the end, it looks a bit like a choral because it has almost always 4 voices.
Okay.
You know, and there are some risky moments. For example, in transcribing, if you
Here, I'll pause it.
like, it's really risky to when you do an inversion, the first inversion of the chord. It's really risky to put the octave of it.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't sound like if I have an A major.
Yeah.
I invert it.
Yeah.
It's quite okay, but if it never sounds very well. And there were some moments where I put it, but it was like really quite hard to find the right balance to make it sound or to make it not sound bad.
Yeah, to make it sound in balance.
Like in the end, it was really nice for the texture of it, but it was quite risky. That required a lot of patience work and trying to find the correct sound for it.
Yeah.
Or so repeating octave. Yeah. In this case, repeating 2 A's, the inverted chord, but then.
Yeah, that's quite thick texture.
Yeah, and then like in a final moment of studying a piece, I don't really focus on on a lot of the small details. Like I don't go by section or something. Only if it is like a big part. Like if it's, I don't go on 2-line groups or something like that.
Okay.
I try to have like a general view of the piece, and I try to make it every time I play it. Because at some point it may lose its spontaneity.
Spontaneity, yeah.
What?
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
But if you really work on it, like, it will always sound spontaneous for the audience. Maybe not for you, but it will always sound spontaneous for the audience, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So the tip for people playing any repertoire, but also especially transcriptions, is to try to think melodically and sing.
This is my way on thinking about almost all the music,
not just transcriptions, yeah.
Not just transcriptions, everything.
Yeah, a melodic line.
Yeah, there are people who think more in an harmonic way.
Yeah.
There are people who think more about about small forms, the formal part of the piece. I like to think in lines.
In melody, okay.
Melody,
yeah. So you're, and just like, I'm also interested why you keep choosing Fantasias, because you did 1 year last year of all these Telemann Fantasias, and then this year you're doing, I know your program for your exam is all other kinds of Fantasias. So what's the deal with this?
Yes, well, I wanted to search for a repertoire that could be, like, could have a relation with the CD.
Okay.
So that the repertoire I'm going to play for my exam, it's the same I'm going to play for the presentation concerts. Like maybe at some point I change one Fantasia by Telemann and I play another one. Maybe I don't know. Like instead of playing Ramelli, I can put the Gerard Fantasia. But I
Yeah.
want it to be around this theme of fantasia, of imagination, of
Yeah. What have you learned about the Fantasia form? Like, what have you learned about
Well,
it over 2 years of studying it? I mean,
well, first of all, I learned that it's very free.
okay.
So
So it kind of
uh,
works for an entire program because there's a lot of variety, actually.
yes. Like in the program, I have Telemann, I have Ramelli, have Sword and Manen.
And you did Dowland too, but it's not in the program.
I didn't well. I studied some fantasies of Dowland, but in the end, for this program, I didn't do any of it.
Yeah. So it's okay, but yeah, it's. I mean, even from like the sword to the Manin is a completely different world, right? So
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know. All the the general definition of fantasy in music is basically the exploration of the resources of the instrument,
Right.
not being stuck to any form or.
So in that sense, the Telemann Fantasias for viola da gamba must have been interesting to do because, like you said, you're trying to achieve what the viola da gamba can do on the guitar, but it's not taking advantage of the guitar then, the composition anymore.
What?
If the composition is made to take advantage of the viola da gamba, and then you're transcribing it for guitar, it's no longer a fantasia in the sense of taking advantage of the guitar's capabilities, you know?
Yeah, but there is that's the art of transcribing. No.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind of a nice irony in the project, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's exactly the art of transcribing. It's making it look like it was written for the new instrument. No?
The instrument it's on, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool.
One times is more successful, other times is less.
Yeah, of course, but that's why you have to study it and solve each of those problems, like you were saying with this this octave.
But
stuff.
also the repertoire we have written for guitar is not really written for guitar.
Yeah, no, I mean it's true.
If you check the 20th century, Tedesco, for example, you were playing Tedesco.
Yeah, it's not written for guitar.
How many hard times did you have with studying Tedesco?
Yeah.
How the hell did he write this?
Yeah.
The score, of course, he was not a guitarist.
Well, and this is where my research came from. Actually, was because I realized that a lot of our best repertoire is written by non-guitarists, in the sense of like musical quality. Okay, of course, yes. I say that, but I also recognize that there are exceptions of great composers who are guitarists, like Bogdanovich, like Brouwer, many others, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, the 19th century had many, but in the 20th century and onwards, many of our best pieces, in terms of quality, are written by non-guitarists. And I realized that like there's the composer and the score, and then there's often a third entity, which is the player who helps them edit.
Yes.
Or who helps publish it, you know? And I mean, you just have to look at the manuscripts of some of the Segovia repertoire, and you realize that, and also other guitarists, Bream and others.
Yeah.
You realize that it's not straightforward. So yeah, trying to see how this collaboration works between the composer or the performer and the final product, you know.
Yeah, it's the arrangement work.
Yeah, it is actually. It's not that different than your topic actually, in some ways. Yeah. Cool. And since you perform both solo and chamber music and Baroque guitar in an ensemble, what kind of attitude do you maintain for performing? How do you see performance? How do you try to get ready for a performance?
Well, first of all, I try to look professional.
Must be hard in your case.
Yeah, in my case, it's amazingly hard. I cannot control myself. Look professional towards the audience, towards the organizers. This is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only a stage work. It's the backstage is also really really important.
And who you talk to and meet and stuff, and
What?
who you talk to and meet and everything. I mean, sometimes the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
you interact is more important than how you play in some cases.
Yeah, you have to know what to say when to say it.
Yeah.
But on playing, yeah, like I always get really really nervous in concerts. I still didn't get to the point. Well, I feel well on stage, but there are always ups and downs. You know, like moments you get a bit more nervous or you lose concentration.
Mm-hmm.
But I always try to look the most quiet and try to enjoy it the most. That's the major goal of it. No,
Yes, I would agree. Nice.
enjoy what you're doing, and if you believe in it, also the audience will believe in it. I think.
For sure, yeah. And if you approach yourself with an attitude of being okay with what happens and enjoying it, then it's going to make
Yes.
people feel more at ease. I think people don't necessarily think about how much the audience picks up on your body language and about the way you respond to how your own playing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe too many classical musicians are used to playing for themselves in the practice room, where they're just critiquing everything, or
That's
playing for each other, where we critique each other, and then, you know, you have this attitude that you bring to the stage, which is not actually what the stage is for.
Yeah, it always happens to me that to play in a non-musician environment is always much easier, because you know that the audience is much less judging.
And they're there to enjoy it,
You know.
you know?
Yes, yes, yes. But also, like as a musician, when you go to concerts, you also go to enjoy. You don't go
Yeah.
to search for the mistake.
Yeah.
But due to the environment where we are and how music education works, we always like have this internal thing of, if there is a fail, we know it, and it already changes a bit our perception on the artist and
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I listen to my colleagues, unless they ask for feedback or it's like a studio class where you know you're trying to give feedback, I actually do try to just listen to enjoy, you know? I mean, many of my favorite performances that I hear in everyday life are from my colleagues, so, you know, I try to.
Because, like, but I start changing my vision about this once, like at a guitar festival. I heard a teacher of mine playing. It was the first time I was seeing him live, and I know how he plays. You know, I've seen him in lessons. I think he has proved enough. And that concert, like I remember, also it was in the moment where I was a bit sick of of playing, sick of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he played. I didn't really like the concert in that moment. And then after the concert, everybody was saying, how can he do this? Here it wasn't a nice concert for him. Cannot do this like with his name, blah blah blah. And but then I saw like the exact same people going to him and say, "Oh, maestro, thank you so much. This was amazing."
Right, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know, like the bit the fakeness
Of musicians, yeah.
of musicians and artists in general.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I would have dinner with him, and I told him, what did you think about your concert yesterday? And he was telling me, I think it was okay, maybe not the best, but was nice. And I was telling him, because I really didn't enjoy, like, I've seen you playing, maybe not at the concert, but I've seen you playing, I see you play amazing, like, but I don't think yesterday was a good day. And he taught me like the biggest lesson on, don't go to concerts to judge, go to enjoy the moment of the concert. And since that moment, like, every concert I watch, I try to be like the least judging I can,
Yeah.
and just enjoy the moment. Because even if there are fails, there are a lot a lot of other moments that musicians and artists in general are doing amazing things on stage.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just kind of a bad use of your time to listen to music to not enjoy it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's not really,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, of course, sometimes you can't, if you don't enjoy something, you just don't enjoy it, and that's the reality. But yeah, I know
Mm.
what you mean. The constant criticism of yourself and others is not always the healthiest thing.
Yeah, and then there is of course this part of criticizing ourselves, as you said, because we're always judged by this
Impossible standard,
environment.
yeah.
Yes, and we end up judging ourselves on the same level, you know.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then there is where it gets dangerous, I think.
I think the moment that changed that for me was I heard Thomas Villato when I was studying with him online actually for a year. He said like, yeah, I think I was only happy with my own playing 3 times in my performing career, you know? And I was like, if he can feel that way, then it's fine, you know, that's normal then to feel this way. But of course he was also saying like, you know, I try to still know that I'm doing well generally and enjoy still
Mm.
my playing in general, you know, and but his point was like to reach the level that he actually was really satisfied with as an artist was only like a handful of times in his whole career, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for many of us. There's very few times when you can be like objectively just happy with everything.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think like being happy with it is also quite dangerous, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
because if you're always screwing it up, but it does better, next time will go better, and but you don't do anything about it, it's also not good. But if something happens on stage, okay, in that performance, I'm sure you did a lot of good things. You did this thing bad. Okay, it was a moment, but now pick up that moment and work on it for the next performance. Be happy with the performance, but like don't reach to don't always don't think that you are already on top. You know?
Yeah, I think the problem is that people feel like whatever happens in one moment on stage or the result of some performance, that defines them, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what drives people not to share their own playing, whether it's online or in person. They don't want
Yeah.
to play for others. What makes them feel like if they lose a competition or don't advance or something, it means they are less than the people who did, you know,
Yeah.
for all time. But it's kind of insane if you think about it because performing is like a live thing that happens once and there are so many variables and it's so difficult to
Yeah.
like put your self-worth on something like that that's so so temporary is really
Yeah.
a recipe for like being miserable with yourself, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also realistically, like even the people who you see play in a competition or in a concert and they don't do so well in that moment, most of us, I feel like, except for maybe the exception of a few people who are really not very nice, most of us, we don't judge that person forever on that one performance, you know. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. At least for myself, I don't feel like I think that person must always play like that, you know. That seems like because if I thought that about other people, I would have to think the same thing about myself when I don't play well, you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. It also depends on who is listening. You know, like
Yeah.
there are people who are really like you do one thing and they mark you and no, this guy is not good because he did that
Right.
once. You know,
Yeah.
this happens a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, do you really
I
want to
think
be liked by someone like that? I mean,
well, you always want to please everyone. You know.
yeah. I mean, I just feel like pleasing everyone's impossible, so I don't try.
Yeah.
I just try to improve myself.
I
That's
don't
all. That's all I can do.
Yeah. The secret. Well, I don't know if I'm right or not, but the secret should be like show the most honest version of you in stage, and I think you'll please. If not everybody, you'll please someone.
Yeah, you can never please everybody, but you should please someone. And I just feel like if someone's gonna write you off for one performance, it's just like it's no point in trying to please that person really,
Yeah.
because at some
It's
point,
the moment where you decide to cut that person off. Also.
yeah, or you just like okay, they think that about me, You know, what am I
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to do? Like,
yeah.
anyways, yeah. All right. Well, now that we've had this serious discussion about our feelings, let's play another
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
We're gonna play. Well, it's not exactly a game, I guess, but we're gonna play Would You Rather. So you know Would You Rather, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
okay.
I have to choose from
Two bad options.
two bad options.
Yes.
There's no half good option.
No, not usually. Okay. Would you rather? Okay, so let's imagine that you're in like a normal school year, like this year. Okay, you
Yes.
have like a really big program that you've learned,
Yes.
and it's March. Okay, so it's a month ago.
Yes.
It's March, and you learned the program since September. You memorized everything. Your teacher picked with you very nice articulations, very good dynamics. You like
Yes.
found all your fingerings. Everything is in the score with the blue and the red pencil. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with the situation.
Yes.
And then in March, you either have to A, change half of your exam program,
Yeah.
or B, you have to change all of your articulations, fingerings, and dynamics.
Oof.
So half of it's like 30 minutes of the program you have to change to totally different repertoire that you haven't played before, or do
That I haven't played before. Wow,
Yeah.
that changes things.
or change half your articulation, all of your articulations and dynamics, like everything. Completely play the pieces in a totally different way, even though you've already memorized them.
I would say change the repertoire.
Yeah, me too, actually.
It's like if I decided to do that kind of articulation or those musical ideas, you know.
Yeah.
Like, why should I change it?
No. But in this case, you're like convinced that it's a good idea. It's like you have a lesson and you should just like So you're convinced, but it's in your memory still. Like you've memorized it, so it's hard to change. But you think it's a good idea.
Okay. I would still change the repertoire.
Yeah, it's just too confusing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is okay. You have to pick one of these pieces to learn and memorize in a week for a performance. You have 1 week to memorize and perform one of these two pieces. You ready?
Yes.
The Tedesco Sonata or the Aranjuez, and we assume that you haven't played them before.
Okay. Well, totally I will do both like shit, but totally the Aranjuez.
Why?
Uh,
Yeah.
because I have a really bad experience with the Tedesco Sonata. So
Some past trauma. Do you want to tell a story?
yeah, no, it's just that when I got to my first year of bachelor, like it was changing technique and everything, and the first piece my teacher gave me to play was the Tedesco Sonata.
Your teacher
So-
gave you that in the first year.
Yes.
Bold.
We all learn from mistakes.
Yeah, clearly.
But also it was a mistake for me to accept it. Like, okay, the idea seemed nice in the beginning because, and it helped me a lot. Like it was a huge challenge. It was okay. But I never got to feel comfortable with
Playing
with the
it,
piece.
yeah.
And I was the opposite of comfortable. I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that actually the Aranjuez would be easier because, I don't know, just because, yeah. I mean, I've played the
Well-
Aranjuez, but I haven't played the Tedesco Sonata, but the Tedesco Sonata scares me.
It is quite scary.
Yeah.
Like even more if you try to do the manuscript version.
Mm.
That's suicidal.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Aranjuez, we have that.
Yes. Also, we
Uh,
know it more. Like it's much more common in our repertoire. So
mhm. Okay,
Mhm.
in a concert, would you rather have shaky hands or shitty nails?
well, shaky hands I always do. So
Okay, so it's better than the nails?
I will choose the shaky hands because. Okay, normally when I go on stage, I'm always like really careful about my nails, and I don't think I ever had a problem with it. But when I'm practicing, like if I have one shitty nail and I cannot find the
The spot,
solution
yeah.
for it at the moment, I cannot practice.
You just
At
stop
all.
practicing?
At all. Like yes. well, I go for a coffee,
Yeah.
and maybe wash my hands and see if it goes better. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't know. Like nowadays, I cannot imagine like how I would practice when I was like I don't know 15 or 14, and I had no idea of how to shape my nails correctly or what was a nail polish or I wow. It should sound so bad, but I
Uh,
don't remember. Like
I
I don't
think
have.
your mom or someone, Arminda Silva, is saying something to me, a question, but I don't understand it because it's in Portuguese. Can you translate for me?
Oh,
Check the
my
chat,
my
and
my mom is my biggest fan.
it says something about cerveza. So I think she's commenting on my beer, but
She's talking something about beer. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let me see. Ah, she's asking if the beer is good.
Ah, it's delicious. You know, Arminda, I asked Sandro if he wanted to have a cerveza
Yeah.
also, but he said no. So
Yeah. I told you I haven't touched beer in 1 month.
only wine.
I yes, a lot.
A lot of wine. So it sounds like you're being so responsible. No beer for a month, but then you just have a lot of wine instead.
It's because wine sounds more classy.
Ah,
Classy,
okay.
you know, like.
Well, this is like Belgian beer, so it's kind of
It's,
classy.
it's like look at me. I just released the CD.
Yeah, I mean, but look, I can look classy with this thing, you know?
Wow.
It's
you
not
have
actually
the right
Amstel,
glass for it.
it's something nice.
If I would be having a beer right now, I wouldn't have a glass
Oh, okay, so then it wouldn't be so classy.
from the bottle.
Yeah, super classy, right before your
Yeah.
Telemann CD. Yeah, I guess now that you recorded a CD of Telemann, you have to drink only wine. Okay, would you rather only be allowed to play music after or before 1900? Like music from before or after the turn of the 20th century. What would you rather? Forever.
It's quite tricky because
I know, this is a hard one for you because Telemann and then also like Rodrigo, Manen, like
no always after.
always after.
Yeah, because after new creations come, no? Like
Yeah, it's true. Contemporary
if
music.
I would if I would play before, I would be very limited. Well, very. There is a lot of repertoire, but
Yeah. Yeah,
but music is always appearing. So.
yeah, for sure. Speaking of, well, it's new-ish, right? The Mont Salvage?
Well, it's from the year 2000.
Oh, okay, so newish, yeah. Speaking of
20
new,
years.
speaking,
20 years.
speaking, well, for classical music, this is not that long ago.
Yeah.
Speaking of new-ish music, we're gonna play the Mont Salvage now. Do you want to explain a bit about these? Because I didn't know about these pieces until I heard about them from you.
Well, from what I know, these. Well, first of all, you can see that it's influenced by fado,
Yeah, which is
Portuguese traditional music.
okay.
Yes. But Monsalvache is not Portuguese; it's Catalan. But from what I know, he composed this after getting inspired on the architectonics and the sounds of Lisbon.
Cool.
In a trip he had to Lisbon.
Oh, the architecture and the
Um,
sounds. Okay.
Yes, and these are the three different zones of the city, and yeah, and he composed this. I think they're beautiful pieces.
And okay, cool. And you recorded them in Portugal also.
I recorded it in Saragossa in Portugal, yes.
Okay.
And it's like it's pieces that I really enjoy putting on the repertoire because I really like the kind of sonority of the music that was composed in by Catalan composers during the 20th century. It's like
Gerard
it's
and stuff. Yeah.
yes, it's like real. There, I wouldn't know how to define like the common sounds between them, but there is I don't know. It's like when you're from a specific like if you're from Spain, from Andalusia, of course your music will be completely influenced by flamenco, by flamenco rhythms. It's a cultural influence, and the Catalan sound It's quite, I don't know, I enjoy it.
It's quite unique, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is
quite
he
unique.
is was Man Salvage? Is the music kind of similar to the Girard's music?
Not similar. They're different, of course,
Okay.
but there is always this kind of sonority that is very very. I don't know. I don't know. I can only define it as Catalan. You know, like
Okay. Well, we'll hear it now in a second. So there's three
it's,
fados, right?
yes.
Three fados. Okay. So three fados by Xavier Monsalvage. Okay. nice. Good job, man. Oh, I think you're still muted. There we go.
Yes.
Hi. Nice work.
Hi.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Super cool. So the CD is out. People can check it out through
Yes.
Spotify.
Yes. It's already like I was checking, and the pre-order is also available in some online stores.
Okay.
But I think it will only be out physical edition on the 1st of May, if there are no delays because of the current situation, of course.
Yeah. Makes sense. And you already have some physical copies.
Yes.
A
Do you
tower
really
of-
want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, I guess you were supposed to play some concerts and sell them, hey?
I have a box under my table of 600 CDs.
Oh
Well,
my
three
goodness.
three boxes of 200 CDs each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I needed some furniture. so
Yeah, of
it's
course.
okay.
So your CDs will work, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So where do you think, just as like to wrap up, where do you think classical guitar is going? What's the future of classical guitar? What would you like to see more of?
Well, I think we're always a bit safe in the way that classical guitar, like guitar, is very treated like a traditional and a popular instrument, you know. So even if you have never heard about classical music in guitar, if you, I think people is always are always interested in classical guitar concerts. I don't know, it's easy instrument to listen to. Also, I don't think we are categorized as the elite of instruments, which would be nice also. But yeah, it's not. People don't see the guitar the same as they see cello, piano, violin, orchestra.
What does that say about the future of classical guitar, though?
It says that I think we will keep on having work, you know, and also it's easier. It's an easier instrument to do the crossover and jump to a totally different style, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
sometimes think that classical guitar is uniquely positioned to do some interesting projects in some ways because
Yes,
our
yes.
our kind of sphere, if you want to call it a sphere, is sort of already grassroots, you know.
Yeah.
We're not really part of the classical music establishment in the same way, and so that allows us ways to be a part of other things, you know.
Yes, yes.
Of course, I also wish that we played in more big concert halls and stuff, and I think part of the problem there is that not enough guitarists do stuff like chamber music, but that's changing, I think, too.
That's changing, yes.
Yeah, I think
But
more
also
people.
there is another danger going on, which is like there are a lot of classical guitarists nowadays.
Yeah,
So
too many.
there is always someone who maybe does it like to say better, but you know, like there will always appear someone who makes something better than you, or even something who does it cheaper also.
Yeah.
And then that is the danger of our job, I think.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I also don't know that like the opportunities necessarily go always to the person who does it, quote unquote, better, whatever that means. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the opportunities go to the people who make things happen and who do interesting projects.
Yes.
Because it's such a small world, like I was saying about grassroots. What I mean by that is that like you can't really rely on an establishment to hold you up. You kind of have to be collaborating and creating things with people and putting forward initiatives that people want to support and do. And I don't know, in that sense, it's kind of nice. You can look at it both from a negative and a positive aspect. That you kind of have to have initiative to make things happen, which is a negative in the sense that it means you have to be you don't have security really. But it's a positive in the sense that if you're creative and nice to work with, and you like creating something interesting with other people, there's always going to be something to do. So I don't know. Yeah. But yeah.
Just the solution is just get your ass off the practice room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can't sit in the room and just play Ginestera all day.
Yeah. Oh, but this happens a lot. I know so many nice guitarists, nice musicians, way better than me. Like, but know a lot of guitarists which are much better than me that are not doing anything because they just don't go out of the practice room.
Yeah, they just play guitar. Yeah. Or they just practice in the practice room, and then they go to some competitions which doesn't give them anything, even if they win the prize.
Yeah.
They get a few €1,000 and that's it, you know.
€1,000, sometimes some concerts. Of course, if you win like a huge competition, GFA, you have a lot of concerts and a lot of visibility. Visibility,
yeah. But the thing is, even people who get those prizes, sometimes they don't capitalize on that properly.
Yeah.
It can happen also, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not that any of those things is bad. Practicing is obviously good. Doing a competition, doing well is good. Doing a competition, doing badly is good because you get a deadline, but it doesn't necessarily...
it's not everything. It doesn't mean everything in this.
It doesn't mean everything, and business. I would actually say that being in that kind of environment and attitude all the time is actually, in some cases, becomes harmful over time for developing your career, right? So... Anyways, yeah. Not that I'm an expert on those things, but just that, I guess for me, now that I'm working and studying in the sense where I actually support myself through music for a few years now, I noticed that the things that helped me develop my career to that point were not necessarily the competitions and the hours in the practice room, although those were necessary and helpful.
Yeah.
It was often other factors. So anyways. Okay, we're going to do a really quick lightning round before we wrap up, Sandro.
What?
We're going to do a really quick lightning round before we wrap up.
Okay,
so I say one or the other, and then you have to pick something really fast, okay? Okay, you ready? Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. I could guess that, I think, from your personality somehow.
I'm a doggy person.
Yeah, I don't know. Restoration of the composer's intention or personal interpretation?
Personal interpretation.
Ah, interesting. I would have guessed the opposite, actually. Bream or Segovia?
Bream.
Everyone says Bream. Lisbon or Porto?
Porto.
Okay, I've never been to Porto. I've only been to Lisbon, so I should go. Liszt or Chopin?
Liszt.
Free stroke or rest stroke? Apoyando or tirado?
Rest stroke.
Breakfast or dinner?
Oh, dinner.
Dinner, okay. Carbon or nylon?
It depends for what.
You have to pick.
I mix them.
You mix them? Okay.
Nylon.
Nylon. Oh, okay. Interesting. Pizza or pasta, since you're so Italian? Pasta. You hear that, Flavio? South Park or The Simpsons?
Simpsons.
Bogdanovich or Brouwer?
Ooh. Brouwer,
okay. Yes. Frikandel or bitterballen?
Ooh. Bitterballen.
Oh, okay. Not the meat stick. Okay. Double. Okay, there's 3 options for this one: double top, lattice, or traditional top.
Traditional.
Okay. Daddario or Savares?
Should I say this?
Savares. Okay. Solo or chamber?
Oof. I cannot answer to this.
You're the first one who isn't like solo immediately. Most guitarists are just like solo.
There are different things, like the different things I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy the solitude of playing solo, and I enjoy the communication of playing chamber.
Okay, you can skip.
But if I would have to pick, I think I would say solo.
Okay. Concert or masterclass?
Concert.
Contemporary or classical and romantic repertoire?
Contemporary.
Okay. Campanella or regular scales?
Oh, it depends for what, but normally a regular.
Okay. Sweet or salty?
These are the hard ones.
These are the hard ones, the ones about food.
Salty.
Okay. Horowitz or Rubinstein?
What?
Horowitz or Rubinstein?
Horowitz.
Horowitz, okay. Thibaut Garcia or Andrea De Vitis?
I hate this shit. Thibaut.
Thibaut, okay.
I will say Thibaut now, for now.
Baroque or Renaissance repertoire?
Baroque.
Okay. Cedar or spruce?
Spruce.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you do play a spruce, it's true.
Yeah.
So, for the end of the stream, are you going to play Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door for us?
Oh, you wish.
I wish.
But that's very private.
It's only for the guitar class parties in Maastricht.
Yes. And
I have
if someone from the outside would like to hear that this is my business now, okay?
Yeah.
Like, they would have to pay some really good money
To get you to play Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door on
Yes.
stream.
That's only for friends and family for now.
You know, I have so many recordings of you on my phone, like after
I know.
after a few drinks playing Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door.
And playing a lot more things after more drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I don't know how the neighbors didn't kill us. Oh man.
Like the first, the second, the third, or the fourth time.
Every single time, yeah.
Always do the same repertoire.
Gabriela says, now let's go to FM. Gabriela, I'm stuck in Utrecht. I can't come to Maastricht. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sandro, for being on the stream. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Do you have anything you want to say to the audience? There have been a lot of people watching and commenting, so.
Oh, nice. First of all, thank you for listening.
New CD out soon?
Out soon, yes. The CD, you can buy it online or you can buy it at concerts. I will announce dates as soon as I have them.
As soon as we can all go outside again.
Yes.
As soon as we have real humans to play for.
I don't know what else. Thank you for inviting me for
No worries.
to this talk. Also, I want to thank like everyone who participated like in the project of the CD.
Mm-hmm.
I will not say any name because I will forget about someone, because there were so much people like that gave me hints and support during the whole process. So
Yeah, so you don't want to forget anybody, yeah.
yes, yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
check the CD in the Spotify.
Yeah,
We're
there's a
almost
link in the
reaching-
there's a link in
we're
the video
almost-
description, so.
We're almost reaching the 20,000 streams
Nice.
in
Awesome.
1 month.
That's
it's
great.
okay. It's
That's
okay.
good.
It's very good.
And everyone can find it in the video description here to listen to, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody tune in on Friday for Sergio Hernandez, a great Mexican guitarist studying in Milwaukee with Rene Izquierdo. He's a very great player, and he's going to be on the stream at the same time, 8 p.m. Central European time on Friday. Yeah, if anyone wants to support the stream, you can find the donation link in the description. And even if you donate after it's already been streamed, you can specify if you want it to go to Sandro, because part of this is to support the artist too. So if you donate during the stream or afterwards, and let me know, I will make sure he sees some of the money. So thank you all for watching, and it's been a pleasure. See you soon. Okay, we're done.